Oli Oli! Welcome back to the Colombian Linguist channel, a place where you learn Spanish with a Caribbean voice. Well, here we go with our, I think, third video on the Module 1. Module 1, beginners from level A1 to A2. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, remember this is what we are focused on. Basic use according to the Common European Framework of References for Languages, and we are focused on these two descriptors, A1 and A2. Today, in our day 3, we are gonna be talking about greetings and introductions. So, you're gonna learn how to say hello, nice to meet you, likewise, thank you, and also you're gonna learn how to introduce somebody or introduce yourselves. So, as our topic is about saying hello, don't forget we have a video about how to say hello across the Hispanic world. Go and check it out. But if you see that video, you're gonna understand what Buenas is. So go check it out and learn this Buenas. But Buenas, me llamo Estefanía. ¿Y tú cómo te llamas? Let's learn how what this means and what I'm talking about, right? So, here we have a blue box with greetings, saludos, and polite ways to address people. So, this is like a disclaimer. So, in this video and in this module, I'm gonna be addressing um, two different ways that you can use adjectives in Spanish. Remember that Spanish is a gendered language. That means that you have to use whether if you are a female speaker or a male speaker, and I'm talking about sex, about that dichotomy, right? So that's why I'm saying if you identify yourself as a woman or if you identify yourself as a man, then you have to use in the adjectives whether it is A or O. A for female speakers and O for male speakers. This video is just gonna address those two ways to use the adjectives, okay? So female speakers or male speakers. And that's what we have in this box. In this blue box, we have encantado, and then you change that O for an E. Or if you are a female speaker, you say encantada, and that means nice to meet you. Okay, nice to meet you. Encantado, encantada. You can also say mucho gusto, and that means it's a pleasure. Or when the person says mucho gusto, you instead of saying mucho gusto, you can say igualmente. Okay? Igualmente, likewise, same. We also have a polite way to mention that you are grateful for something is gracias, or that means, or you can also say muchas gracias. Gracias, thanks or thank you. Muchas gracias, thank you so much. If you want to say that there is no problem with what you have done, you say de nada or no hay de qué. Okay? No problem, you are welcome. Either or, you don't have to use both. You use de nada, cool, or you use no hay de qué. In the third part, we have por favor, and that means please. And if you want to ask for permission, you say excuse me, or if you want to say oops, excuse me, if you want to, I don't know, move forward and there is no room for you to move, then you say perdón. Or if you want to talk to somebody, you can also say perdón, excuse me, perdón. Yeah, so this is our first box. Then we have a second box, and this is ways to address people in a polite way. So we have señor, that's for male speakers, and yeah, that means Mr. And then we have señora for Mrs. or Miss. Señorita for Miss, when the person that you're looking at is younger than you or is the same, you're like the same age, you can say señorita. And then in parentheses, I have the abbreviation for each one. So señor, SR, SR, and a period, punto. Señora is RA, and then period, and then señorita, SRTA, punto. Professor or profesora, profesor, male speaker, profesora, female speaker, and that means professor or teacher. In Colombia, when we talk to our profesores, we can say profe, but that's mostly when you are in a university level or high school, I would say. But if you're talking to your professor and you are in middle school or even high school or kindergarten, kids would say señor, señor, and that is a short way to say señora, but that's what we have learned, right? So to address to our professores as a señor, señor, yeah, señor, just for female professors. When you go to more a high academic level, like university, yeah, like universities or colleges, then you would say profe, right? Profe for female and male speakers, and that are professors, of course. So profe, in the other academic context, we would say señor for female professors or teachers. If you have any question about this, just don't forget, leave me a comment and I can expand on this. In the second part of this second box, we have Buenos días, that means good morning. We also have Buenas tardes, and that means good afternoon. Buenas noches, good evening or good night. If it's like, let's say, and this is one more time Colombian context, because that's what I'm more used to, because I know that in Europe things are different, but I mean in Spain, but in Colombia, when you go to a place and it's, let's say that is 7, you go to visit your, I don't know, neighbors or one of your family members, you go and you say buenas, and that works. Buenas, ¿cómo están? Right? Buenas, ¿qué tal? Buenas, ¿cómo van? But if you want to say buenas noches, you can say buenas noches, ¿cómo están? And that works for good evening. And when you are leaving the place, you can also say buenas noches, have a good night, que tengan buena noche, right? Buenas noches, chao, nos vemos, right? So keep that in mind. Good evening, good night in English, okay, buenas noches. In Spanish, we only say buenas noches when you go to your neighbor's place and it's already, I don't know, 7, 8 p.m. And if you don't want to say buenas noches or buenas tardes or buenos días and you want to be safe, you say buenas. Buenas. And that works as a hello. And that's why in the beginning of this video, I said buenas, buenas. Right? Because I don't know if you're watching this video when it's the morning, the afternoon, the evening, night, midnight. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, we are gonna use those expressions that I have just showed you in those 2 boxes in a conversation, okay? So let's do this in a dynamic way. I'm gonna start showing you some words. You might not know what it means. I'm gonna try to translate it while I'm going on the conversation. Remember, it's just me, but I'm gonna try to do it like if we were doing this like face to face or if we were interacting. So if I say hola, right? Hola. If it's the morning, you would say, try to read it. Buenos días. Right? Buenos días. let's say that I want to know your name. So I'm going to ask you, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Okay, so you want to answer, me llamo, my name is, and then my name is Estefania, and that's why I have that there, but me llamo, and then your name. Me llamo Estefania. I want to know more about you, and then I say, ¿de dónde eres? Right? So, where are you from? ¿De dónde eres? You're gonna answer, soy de, and then the place where you are from. For example, me, soy de Barranquilla, Colombia. Try to do it. Soy de, and then the name of your city, right? The name of your state if you are here in the United States. ¿Qué estudias? What do you study? ¿Qué estudias? And then you have all these options. I studied psychology, I studied biology, I studied chemistry, I studied business, I studied Spanish, I studied astronomy. La psicología, la biología, la química, los negocios, el español o español, la astronomía. Okay, so that's what we have. La psicología, psychology, biología, biology, química, chemistry, negocios, business, español, Spanish, la astronomía, astronomy. Any other one? For example, me, I study linguistics. Estudio lingüística. Okay, that's all that I want to learn from you right now, right? So I say, okay, mucho gusto. Remember what this means? Yeah, so mucho gusto. And then you're going to answer encantado or encantada. Or remember, you can also say likewise. Okay, likewise. Perfect. So let's say that I say buenos días. You can say buenos días back. ¿Cómo se llama? Remember that in the previous one, we were doing the you form tú, informal one. Let's say we are friends. But now I'm your teacher, I'm your professor, whatever you want to call me, and we are going to use usted, formal way to say you in Spanish. ¿Cómo se llama? Me llamo Estefanía. ¿De dónde es? Soy de Barranquilla, Colombia. ¿Qué estudia? Well, again, here we have more. Estudio lingüística. Encantado. And then I say igualmente. Okay? Remember, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Leave a comment and I can answer your questions. Now, let's practice saludos y expresiones de cortesía. So, let's try to use all the information that you have given one more time. If you want to practice and you don't want to forget what we are practicing, use a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and start taking notes. That's a very useful way to keep track of what we are learning. So this is a practica. You can fill it up with your information. I'm gonna read both and try to practice on your own. Leave a comment if you have any question about this. So, buenos días. Me llamo Sara. Soy de Chicago. Estudio español. If I want to introduce my friend Sara, then I say, hola, mi amiga se llama Sara. Ella es de Chicago. Estudia español. We are going to learn more about how to introduce somebody else, but I just wanted to throw this there for you to wonder, what is this? What is ella? But ella means she. And then we are trying to introduce somebody else. We are going to learn more about how to introduce somebody else in our next videos. So far, try to practice the blue bubble, right? How you say buenos días, what's your name, where you're from, and what you study. Okay, and if you are very curious, try to check the green bubble as well. So, this is the end. So, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the button like, leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you want me to expand on something, and don't forget to share with your friends or other family members. Chao, chao, nos vemos.